Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alya Nuraeni. I will explain the English-based material entitled Bad Habit and presentation material entitled Indirect question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Good afternoon and fair greeting to you all, my respective lecturers, guests, and friends who I'm fond of. First of all, let's be grateful to good Almighty, because by His grace we can gather here in good health. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about something that we often deal with but don't always take seriously, namely bad habit. They may seem small, even harmless, but over time, they can have huge impact on who we become. Back in our 20s is turning point, we're no longer kids, but we're also not quite suddenly adults. This is the time to shape our character, take our responsibilities, and prepare ourselves for whatever lies ahead. But here's the thing, bad habits often get in the way. Let's be real, we've all been there. For example, number one, scrolling through social media for hours while collects a segment then leaves falling up. Number two, planning to rest for a bit and suddenly it's 4 hours later. Number three, say I'll do it later. Why to manage time until it's late? And number four, are consistently talking down to ourselves. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Before we even try. It's okay, we're only human, but if we keep letting those bad habits slide, they become part of our routine, then part of our identity. So, how do we change? It starts with awareness, know what holding back. Then take small steps, set your alarm 15 minutes earlier, put your phone down before bed. Write a daily to-do list or speaking word to yourself in the mirror every morning. Don't wait for some dramatic moment to make a change. Big transformation comes from small decisions repeated every day. Remember, your 20s are golden years. Don't let bad habits steal your time, your energy, or your potential. If you can change now, why wait? Thank you so much for your time. May we all become better versions of ourselves starting today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you. Stay strong and keep growing. Next, a segment part 2. Today, I took the material of indirect question. What's an indirect question? Indirect questions are polite way to make a request or ask for information. Also, we ask them when asking for a favor. Unlike direct questions that can be asked in non-formal situations, indirect questions are indirect questions asked in formal situations. Indirect questions emphasize politeness. We usually ask indirect questions when formal situation, asking older people, asking people we have just met, asking for help from people we don't know. Imagine a situation I want to ask directions from someone on the street, for example. Where is the nearest bank office? Sure, it's the long that road on the left. Grammatical, the question is asked correctly is asked direct question. Anyway, the tone of my question, not sound very polite, will be afraid to ask with an indirect question, such as, could you tell me where the nearest bank office is? Sure, it's along that road on the left. Second example. Indirect question example. Here are some examples of indirect question that we change from direct question. Direct question. Where is the post office? Indirect question. Could you tell me where the post office is? In indirect question, is placed before the subject. Is the post office, or what we usually call an inversion pattern in interrogative sentence. However, in an indirect question, it is rather after the subject. The post office is, or what is usually called a positive sentence pattern. And three example, direct question, what time is it? Indirect question, could you tell me what time is it? When we ask what time, we can ask indirect question like the example above. Keep in mind some common mistakes are the placement of is are. When we make requests in English, we usually ask the modal verbs can, could, and would. We also ask them to start many indirect questions. Here are some common question phrases for indirect question. Can you tell me? Or could you tell me? Do you know? Will you mind? I wonder. Do you have any idea? I'd like to know. To ask an indirect question, we start with one of the phrases above that add indirect verb, but with the word other refers as in affirmative sentence. So, that indirect question can be changed into an indirect one by using the verbs could and can. For example, could you tell me where the bus stop is? Can you tell me where the bus stop is? Memorize the rules. In indirect question with the to be verb, the verbs come after subject. Can you tell me where the bank is? In indirect question, we ask the has have auxiliary verbs that come after the subject. Do you know where the has gone? We do not ask auxiliary verbs do, does, did in the interrogative clause of an indirect question. Do you have any idea when she moved? Ask question marks at the end of indirect question with can you tell me? Could you tell me? Do you know? Do you have? Do not ask a question mark at the end of an indirect question that does not convey the exact word of the speaker referred their speech, or such sentences that begin with I wonder, I'd like to know. Period full stop shall be as instead. Whether or if. We can ask if or whether to make indirect yes-no question and question with all here are the common interaction. If is more common than whether. Whether people will be asked whether they prefer anonymity on the internet. It is preferable to ask whether with or when there is more than one alternative in an indirect question. He always says the truth, whether it is polite or not. We do not ask if after preposition I was interested in whether he had his own opinion. Correct. I was interested in if he had his own opinion. Incorrect. When is asked the alternative if or not. The verb or not is placed at the end of the indirect question. I asked her if she was going to the cinema or not. Note, in case of using whether, for alternative is possible to ask both variants, whether or not and whether or not. That's all from me. If there are any wrong words, I'm sorry, and thanks for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.